Good afternoon, everybody. Happy? All vaping well? All good stuff? Smiling faces everywhere, that's what we like to see. I am a trustee and founder member of the New Nicotine Alliance, and I don't know whether anybody or everybody knows what the New Nicotine Alliance is for, what it's about, what we do. We are essentially an advocacy organisation. Our job is to get in the way of legislation. Our job is to educate members of Parliament. Our job is to, as far as possible, head off the nasties that tend to come out of governments. How have we done, you might ask? Well, the New Nicotine Alliance has been in action, I suppose you would say, for 18 months, but it actually goes back a lot further than that. Its roots occurred in 2012, December thereof, when there was a proposal made in Brussels to revisit the Tobacco Products Directive. It was published in December, on December the 11th. On December the 12th, David Dorn spoke to his first MEP and said, "This is a load of bollocks, what do we need to do to oppose it?" And it's grown from there. So we organised the Black Balloons protest in Brussels, which helped sway a lot of MEPs, and cutting a very long story short, after spending way more hours in Brussels than I would like, together with other colleagues from the NNA, as they now are, the MEPs in the Parliament voted pretty much the way we wanted them to vote. There were not going to be any restrictions on tank sizes. There were not going to be any real restrictions on juice concentrations, if you like. They were looking at kind of 30 to 50, but it was close enough for jars. There wasn't going to be any of the rest of the rubbish that occurred, but then the trilogue took place behind closed doors, where Linda McAvan, altogether, yes, Linda McAvan sat and sold every vapour throughout Europe right down the river. And said, oh, yes, 2 mil tank, we can go along with that. 20 milligram juice is a maximum. Oh, we can go along with that, that's fine. And all of the other rubbish that has come through. So where does that leave us in terms of where the UK is now? The Westminster government. The Department of Health, I'll say this in hushed tones, they don't want to do it. They don't like it. The Department of Health is of the opinion that the TPD is a festering pile of dingo kidneys. That's not a quote, but it's close enough. I deal with, I'm going to say, a young lady in the Department of Health who is ultimately responsible for implementing the TPD in the UK. And let's put it like this. While in other member states in the EU, you will only be able to buy a 2 mil tank. And it will be 2 mil. And it will have to be notified, and it will have to be tested. It will have to go through this and that and the rest of it and everything else. In the UK, you will be able to buy your 2 mil tank. Just as I bought a 3 mil Plato, and then bought a 5 mil glass to go on it. So, the 5 mil glass in the UK does not need to be notified. Thank you, NNA. The 5 mil glass can be included as a spare part in the packaging for the tank you buy, and it will not have to be notified. So the tank as it's assembled might be 2 mils, but by the time you've taken the top off, which you've got to do to fill it, you take the glass off and put the fat boy on, you have a 5 mil tank. Thank you, NNA. We've managed to get that. The 20 milligram limit on e-liquid, there is nothing we can do about. But how can it be notified? At the moment, it can't. You cannot notify e-liquid at the moment. Why? Because neither the Commission nor the Department of Health in the UK has got the toxicology and emissions testings protocols written. They are not available. If they are not available, then you cannot go by them. You can't do the testing you need to do, because if you do the wrong testing, it's a waste of time. So until they're published and until they're out there, nobody can comply. And if nobody can comply, it can't be implemented, if you follow my drift. The thing is that the likelihood is that implementation of the juice notification system is going to be delayed. And the longer it's delayed, the better. Occasionally, I get a phone call from the Department of Health saying it might be delayed. And I go, oh dear, how sad. Never mind, eh? And what I usually get from the other end is, okay. So the bottom line on this is, we've worked very, very hard to get in the way. The NNA writes lots of letters to Brussels. The NNA meets lots of people that are over in Brussels. We've got drones over there, I'll say. And yes, we're getting in the way everywhere we can. But we do more than that. We also are party to what's known as the Global Forum on Nicotine, which takes place every June in Warsaw, where we get along the good and the great, and this year there are going to be a fair few legislators there. And that's where we talk at us, talk to them, where we discuss things with them, where we tell them that as vapers, we don't like what you, as legislators, are doing. We are, if you like, the provisional wing of vapers in power. We might not be a political party, but we do have political clout. And here's what I want you to do as vapers out there, and any of the vendors and businesses that are listening. Get active. As Liam said earlier, talk to your representatives and get them told, look, this TPD thing, pile of festering dingo kidneys. Don't like it, gonna cause damage, it will cause deaths, let's face it. There will be people out there who just believe the shite. Is that a real word? It's a real word. There are people out there who will believe the shite they read in the Daily Phil and various other newspapers. So if you're active on social media, or when you're talking to your friends, get them told, that's rubbish. Get them to the NNA website where you'll see our position statements on every piece of crap that comes out, and we're actively opposing all of that. If you want to get your hands in your pockets, that's great, because trust me on this one, travelling the world trying to sort all this out, and it is the world, because there's a lot of influence in America, and there's a lot of influence down in the antipodes, the land down under, where Skippy comes from, and all those other things. We're dealing with, I mean, hell's, alright, it's where Chapman's at, and you know, trying to draw a bead on him with a 762 is not easy. He's a slimy bugger, he runs all over the place. But we're battling everything we can. We are here to represent you. If you've got a problem, if you've got something that you need help with, contact the NNA. We are more than happy to help. If you want to go and get one of the NNA wristbands, the new one says, New Nicotine Alliance, celebrate the vape. Let's get everybody celebrating the vape. Let's get everybody active. Let's get everybody out there singing the same tune. Vapes is good, legislation not so good. So I'm going to leave it there, as I usually do when I do little TV programmes on vaportrails.tv, and sign off by saying, please, everybody, vape on, vape hard, and don't let the bastards grind you down. Celebrate the vape!